Mike Hamilton, Lithia Toyota. I'm just going to go over some of the Toyota newsroom and the numbers that Toyota ended up with last year. So numbers have been reported through the first quarter of this year. Toyota again is number one in North America. And last year they were number one in North America and number one in the world in sales, with the GM woes of not being able to get chips and things like that. They are struggling and down, and typically Toyota's been either slotting in around second or third place, as the Volkswagen Group has also been in the top of the pack as number one in the past of the world, and Toyota's now slotting in at number one. So I have some numbers I'm going to go over through last year, and also encourage you to go check out my buddy at his YouTube channel, Kirt Kreifels, who reports mostly on Japanese product, but is doing a whole list of vehicles throughout the whole industry, and where they place, like model by model, in a much more thorough video than mine, as I'm just covering Toyota. Again, for the fifth quarter, Toyota is number one in the world, number one in North American sales. They were up 10.4%. Going over some of the vehicles here, Yaris was eliminated, so it was down 96%. Corolla had a modest increase of 5%. Super had a good increase of about 16%. Low production, low volume vehicle. And then you have the Mirai, which we don't have here, so I'm going to skip that. Avalons are, I think, other than the hybrids, are going away. And then you have the Prius, which could have done incredibly more if there was more vehicles to have been built in the but because of the chip shortages and other things, they weren't built too much. Camry again has improved over from year to year, so they were up just a bit. Moving on, here is numbers for some of the other Toyota models. CHR, I don't think that's going to survive with the Corolla Cross coming out. A vehicle that's built in Turkey doesn't seem to have a real good place. Kind of sporty looking, but not real roomy, not well equipped, antiquated, and doesn't have an all-wheel drive option, or in the future, Corolla Cross gets a hybrid option. I think that will take over the small crossover SUV that was down 16%. RAV4 is been the number one selling vehicle for Toyota for a few years now, 5, 6, 7 years. It's been down a little bit. Corolla Cross, this is the new one. I think that's going to blow up, especially when we get the hybrid version of the vehicle. It's priced pretty well, inexpensive, comparable, and it has an all-wheel drive option, and will have a hybrid option available to the vehicle. They're showing FJ Cruiser. They don't make that anymore. Venza, huge. Venza's got a 374% increase. Basically, it's like a Lexus NX hybrid, whatever they call that. Seems like it's to take off from that. They've been building it overseas, called the Harrier, for years before that. Only comes as a hybrid, only comes as all-wheel drive. Comes much more well equipped than normal Toyotas. That thing really, it's picked up tremendously in its numbers. Highlander, especially on the hybrid side, getting 35 miles a gallon is huge. We got the Forerunner, for whatever reason, even though it's old and antiquated and low tech, but I think a lot of buyers and people that drive them like that. It's increased its sales over year to year. So that would be something to consider. Sequoia, the old one going away, it almost went away for good, but since they had the Tundra platform, it made it, and we're going to have a new Sequoia, and it's going to take over for the Land Cruiser that was eliminated, which was sad to find that the Land Cruiser had a run that went the longest with Toyotas here in the United States is no longer, and Sequoia will be at the big SUV on that. So it will only come as a hybrid. It'll have all kinds of trim levels. Won't be extremely fuel efficient because its hybrid systems is built for max power, not for fuel economy. So it will have tremendous power and tow capabilities and things like that, and be nice and well appointed on its higher ends of the vehicles, and be very off-road capable with the like the TRD off-road and the TRD Pro packages. So for the 22nd year consecutively, Toyota is number one in selling electrified vehicles, even so way past Tesla or anyone else. So if you think Tesla is the number one, nope, sorry, wrong. It is Toyota. 22nd year in a row, Toyota's sold more electrified vehicles than Tesla. And the thought process in the past why Toyota didn't go fully electrified was that there would only be a few thousand buyers for fully electric vehicles versus millions of buyers for hybrid vehicles. And they were right at the time. So now times are changing, and fully electrified is something that's going to happen. But Toyota's increase in sales pretty much across the board. The Prius regular hybrids up 19%. The Prius Prime 72%. The Corolla hybrid is up 50 something percent. The Camry hybrid's up a lot. The Avalon hybrid up 46%. The what else we got here? 422% for, I don't know, that's the Mirai, which is not a vehicle we sell around here. Like, look at this. Look at the increase in sales on the Sienna. Over 1,000% increase with 35 miles a gallon on average. Incredible vehicle. So if they could have built more vehicles, they would have just completely went past their numbers that they had, just being limited to the chips. So you see like 700 something plus percent for RAV4 Prime. I mean, it just goes on and on. The Venza, huge increase. So all these vehicles have huge increases.